You pictured your dream vacation, relaxing on a beach, strolling through peaceful streets, and soaking in the beauty of a new place. But instead, you're stuck elbow to elbow with tourists, overpriced restaurants, and hours wasted figuring out what to do because you didn't plan ahead. That's the reality today of Europe's most popular cities like Barcelona, Venice, and Amsterdam. Crowded, chaotic, and expensive, but it doesn't have to be that way. There are still stunning places in Europe that are beautiful, affordable, and best of all, not overcrowded. So in this video, I'm sharing 15 incredibly underrated hidden gem European cities you absolutely need to check out in 2025. And by the way, my name's Annie and I've spent the last few years traveling all over Europe. Now, Barcelona might be one of Europe's most iconic and beautiful cities, but if you're like me and can't stand battling crowds at places like the Sagrada Familia, there's another of Spain's cities that's equally as amazing and way less packed. I'm talking about Valencia. Valencia is an absolute gem, perfectly blending history with modern marvels, and one of Spain's most welcoming cities to spend a few days. You absolutely must start by getting lost in the Barrio del Carmen, the city's ancient heart. Its maze-like streets are bursting with history, from grand old palaces to quirky legends etched into the walls. There's always something new to discover. For incredible views of the city, don't miss climbing Valencia's only remaining medieval city gates, Torres de Serranos and Torres de Cor, or the Miguelet Tower at the cathedral, where inside you'll find what's believed to be the Holy Grail. Just around the corner is the stunning La Lonja de la Sede, the Silk Exchange, a UNESCO World Heritage Site with breathtaking Valencian Gothic architecture. It's definitely a must-see. Barcelona's Sagrada Familia might be one of Spain's most iconic cathedrals, but for another jaw-dropping gem of Valencia, check out the Iglesia de San Nicolás de Bari y San Pedro Martir. From the outside, it's unassuming, but step inside, and you're hit with an explosion of Baroque frescoes covering every inch. No wonder it's often called Valencia's Sistine Chapel, and it's truly breathtaking. Of course, Valencia also boasts fantastic urban beaches within easy reach for sunbathing or a dip. But for something truly special, head to the Turia Garden, one of Europe's largest urban parks. This amazing green ribbon stretches for an incredible 9 kilometers right through the city and is fantastic for a leisurely stroll, cycling, or just chilling out. You'll find some gems in here like the amazing Gulliver's Park. Turia Gardens is also where you'll find the awe-inspiring city of arts and sciences. This futuristic architectural complex looks like something straight out of a sci-fi film. It houses the Oceanographic, Europe's largest aquarium, an amazing interactive science museum, and an incredible opera house. It's a total contrast to the old town, but it ties the city together beautifully. To soak up local life, the bustling central market is Europe's largest for fresh produce. It's a sensory delight and a great spot for cheap eats. Or explore the elegant Ensanche district with its stunning modernist architecture, or the vibrant Ruzafa neighborhood, known for its cool indie shops, art galleries, and fantastic nightlife. And every Saturday in July, you can be treated to Valencia's enormous traditional fireworks displays. So, Valencia's awesome for a city break, but if you want to find one of Spain's real hidden gems, then I've got another fantastic recommendation for you. Segovia is absolutely brimming with history and utterly unique sight. You have to start at the Roman aqueduct. It's just mind-blowing. Standing there in the Plaza del Azoguejo, looking up at these enormous, perfectly fitted granite blocks that have stood for nearly 2 millennia without a single drop of mortar. It's an astonishing feat of ancient engineering. It really makes you feel tiny and connected to so much history. From there, wander through the charming Jewish quarter known as La Juderia. Its narrow, winding cobblestone streets are some of the most picturesque in the city, full of hidden corners and a distinctly medieval feel. You'll find a peaceful atmosphere here, exploring its historic synagogues and soaking in centuries of heritage. Next, visit the magnificent Segovia Cathedral, often called the Lady of Cathedrals due to its sheer size and elegant Gothic grandeur. Step inside, and you're surrounded by stunning stained glass and towering naves. It's genuinely breathtaking. And then there's the Alcazar of Segovia, a stunning castle perched dramatically on a rocky outcrop, which supposedly inspired Disney's Cinderella Castle. Make sure to climb the Tower of Juan II. It's a bit of a climb, but so worth it for the phenomenal panoramic vistas over the city and the surrounding countryside. including the famous Dead Woman mountain range in the distance, Paseo del Salón, Plaza Mayor, Plaza de Medina del Campo, and the streets between them are full of places where you can whet your appetite with some typical Segovian tapa. In June, local festivals like the Fiestas de San Juan y San Pedro bring the city to life with music and folklore. Segovia offers all the magic and history of Spain without the usual tourist crush, letting you soak it all in at your own pace. And we're not done with Spain yet. Honestly, I think I could have made this whole video about Spain. Now, while Seville is another of Spain's cities that's suffering from overtourism, instead get ready to be blown away by a place that feels like it jumped straight out of a history book. Ronda. This mountaintop town is perched dramatically above the deep El Tejo gorge, and the views are absolutely breathtaking. Dramatically spanning the gorge to connect the old town and the new is the amazing Puente Nuevo Bridge, definitely one of the most scenic bridges I've ever seen. Built back in the 18th century, it stands 120 meters above the base of the gorge and took decades to complete. Standing on its lookout point, the views are simply jaw-dropping. Walk across it and take a peek down at the dizzying drop below. Just don't look down if you're afraid of heights. The bridge itself is a fascinating piece of history, and there's even a small museum inside where you can learn all about its construction. Speaking of history, Ronda is also the birthplace of modern bullfighting. The Plaza de Toros, one of the oldest bull rings in Spain, still stands proudly in the old town. Now, bullfighting might not be for everyone, but the ring itself is a beautiful example of 18th century architecture. Now, if you appreciate cities dripping with culture and beauty, Vienna probably springs to mind. And rightly so. It's magnificent, but for somewhere just as impressive, but with far fewer visitors, you simply have to discover Ljubljana, Slovenia. This place feels like a wonderfully accessible fairy tale, a really colourful, lively and incredibly photogenic city. And you'll notice dragons everywhere. They're the city symbol. Wander along the Ljubljana River, which meanders right through the city centre. Strolling along Kraljevo na Brezi, with all its charming cafes and restaurants, is just bliss. Perfect for watching the world go by. One of Ljubljana's most iconic landmarks is the Triple Bridge, actually 3 bridges sitting side by side, redesigned by superstar architect Jos Plečnik to create a wider pedestrian zone and connect Prešeren Square with the historic heart. Then there's the iconic Dragon Bridge, adorned with those fierce dragon statues that are just begging for a photo. Dominating the skyline is Ljubljana's castle, perched high up on a hill. You can take a funicular right to the top for incredible panoramic views across the red rooftops and the distant Alps. Inside the castle, you can explore its rich history. And if you're feeling a bit adventurous, they even have an escape room game for a thrilling tour. The city's old town is wonderfully compact and pedestrianized, which makes strolling through its colourful Baroque buildings and bustling squares, like Prešeren Square, an absolute dream, where you'll spot the beautiful pink Franciscan Church of the Annunciation. Don't forget to pop into the Cathedral of St. Nicholas to admire its stunning Baroque architecture and interior. For a taste of local life, the vibrant Central Market is a must-visit for fresh produce and treats. And for something completely different and super unique, explore Metalkova Mesto, or just Metalkova. It's a former military barracks transformed into a buzzing alternative cultural centre, bursting with incredible graffiti art, quirky clubs, and a truly unique atmosphere. It's really something else. Ljubljana's compact size means it's lovely to visit anytime, allowing you to genuinely unwind without fighting for space. Now, speaking of amazing places near Ljubljana, we simply have to talk about Lake Bled. Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful places you'll ever see, with its iconic island church and castle perched on the cliff. It's definitely one of my favourite lakes in the world, but it's becoming another place that can get really busy in summer. Think packed shores and queues for the Pletna boats. So for an equally stunning but way less crowded alternative, you absolutely must visit Lake Bohinj. It's just a short bus ride further into Triglav National Park, and it's Bled's wilder, quieter cousin. Bohinj is glacial, crystal clear, and surrounded by the towering Julian Alps. The views are just as breathtaking, but you get to experience them with far more peace. You can rent kayaks or paddle boards, hike the many trails, or just find a secluded spot to swim in its pristine waters. It feels raw, natural, and genuinely serene, giving you all the magic of the Slovenian lakes without the shoulder-to-shoulder crowds. Trust me, it's a game changer. Now I've got plenty more tips to share, but if making travel easier and more fun sounds like your kind of adventure, or you're interested in discovering new places like this, then why not hit subscribe or leave me a comment with your top travel tip? Right, let's talk about one of Italy's absolute icons, Venice. Of course, it's just stunning, but in summer it can feel less like a city on water and more like a human traffic jam. I mean, you're talking shoulder-to-shoulder crowds on every bridge and a queue for literally everything from coffee to a boat ride. And worse still, since 2024, they've even introduced a tourist tax for day trippers. It's just another sign of how completely overwhelmed the city has become. So you're far better to go there in the spring or autumn. But for an equally enchanting but way less crowded alternative, you should try Annecy France instead. They call it the Venice of the Alps, and it's not hard to see why. Located at the foot of the French Alps, Lake Annecy's crystal clear, turquoise waters are fed by pure mountain springs. It's one of Europe's purest lakes, with water so transparent it perfectly reflects the snow-capped peaks. Start your visit with a stroll along its shores, maybe from the huge lawn of Péquier or through the Jardin d'Europe, passing the romantic Lovers Bridge. The beautiful medieval town of Annecy is an absolute delight. It fully earns its Venice of the Alps nickname with its intricate canals flowing from the River Thio, crossed by charming bridges and lined with colourful flower-draped buildings. You'll love getting lost in its cobbled streets, discovering local shops, cafes, and restaurants. Don't miss the iconic Palais de l'Isle, a medieval fortress nestled in the canal, and the historic Chateau d'Annecy for great city views. When it comes to activities, the lake is a playground. I loved taking a dip in the cool water and renting a paddleboard to explore. You can also hop on a bike and follow the scenic 42-kilometer cycle path around the shoreline. And for a real thrill, why not try a tandem paragliding session for an unforgettable view from above? It's one of Europe's top sites. The best time to visit is May to October, and for special events, there's the spectacular Annecy Lake Festival on the first Saturday of August, Europe's biggest fireworks show. Right, Italy! Everyone dreams of Milan for fashion and bustling city life, and it's certainly iconic. But let's be honest, it can get absolutely rammed with people, especially during peak season. If you're after that incredible Italian charm, delicious food and stunning architecture, but with far less tourist frenzy, then you simply must discover Bergamo. It's a total underrated gem. Just a short hop from Milan, but it feels like stepping into a different world entirely. The city has two distinct parts, the modern Città Bassa, the lower town, and the truly magical Città Alta, the upper town, which is perched on a hill. The best way to reach the medieval Città Alta is by its charming funicular. It's a proper old-school cable car, and the views as you ascend are just stunning. Once you're in Città Alta, you're enveloped by history. It's entirely encircled by magnificent Venetian walls, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that stretches for about 6 kilometers. These 16th century walls were built by the Venetians, but astonishingly, were never actually breached in battle, leaving them incredibly well preserved. Perfect for a leisurely stroll with panoramic views of the modern city below and even the Alps. The heart of Città Alta is Piazza Vecchia, a truly beautiful main square. You'll find the historic Palazzo della Ragione here, and the impressive Campanone, the civic tower. You absolutely must take the elevator, or brave the steps, to the top of the Campanone for breathtaking 360-degree views. And listen out for its 100 chimes at 10 p.m, a tradition signaling the old city gates closing. Right next to the piazza, don't miss the exquisite Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore with its opulent Baroque interior and incredible tapestries, plus the colourful Renaissance Cappella Colleoni next door, known for its intricate marble facade. Wandering the narrow, cobbled streets of Città Alta is an experience in itself, with charming shops and eateries tucked away. For a local treat, try stracciatella ice cream. It was actually invented here. You can also indulge in hearty Lombardy dishes like polenta iose, a sweet local specialty. Bergamo's slightly off the beaten path vibe means you get all the authentic Italian beauty without the overwhelming crowds, making it a truly rewarding summer escape. Now, if you love the cool Scandi vibe of cities like Copenhagen or Stockholm, but your bank account and your patience for crowds is saying nope, then listen up. I've got a fantastic, much more affordable, and way less crowded alternative. The Baltic trio of Tallinn, Riga, and Vilnius. Honestly, any one of these capital cities would be worth a trip on its own. But since they're so close together and getting between them by bus or train is super straightforward, I say you hit all three in the same go. The charm in these Baltic countries is undeniable. They boast some of the most beautiful and incredibly well-preserved old towns I've come across on my travels. Seriously, it's like stepping into a fairy tale. They're clean, peaceful, offer fantastic food options, and the summer weather is just perfect, usually around a lovely 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. First up, Tallinn, Estonia. Its old town is like stepping straight into a medieval fairy tale, completely encircled by its original city walls and towers. Wander the cobbled streets of Toompea Hill to find the stunning Alexander Nevsky Cathedral and the vibrant pink Toompea Castle, which houses the Estonian Parliament. For those postcard views, head to the Kotuotsa or Patkuli viewpoints, where you'll see those iconic red rooftops and spires against the Baltic Sea. The town hall square is bustling, especially during summer with cafes spilling out. Don't forget to visit the quirky Telliskivi Creative City for cool street art, boutiques, and a buzzing food scene. Tallinn is also known for its cheaper nightlife, and you can find great craft beer and traditional Estonian food like black bread and local cheeses. Visit during June to August for the best weather and lively outdoor festivals. Then we head to Riga, Latvia, a true Art Nouveau masterpiece. Its old town is another UNESCO gem, filled with ornate facades and narrow alleys. You absolutely have to see the famously rebuilt House of the Blackheads in Town Hall Square and climb the tower of St. Peter's Church for incredible panoramic city views. But Riga's real unique charm lies in its Art Nouveau district, particularly around Alberta Street, which boasts some of the most stunning examples of this architectural style in Europe. Just walking around is like an open-air museum. Also explore the vast Riga Central Market, housed in former Zeppelin hangars, for delicious local produce and cheap eats. Riga's a fantastic city for walking, and public transport is super affordable. Catch a performance at the Latvian National Opera for a grand night out, or experience a lively folk dancing party at folk clubs a la Pagrab. Finally, Vilnius, Lithuania. This city feels wonderfully bohemian and artistic, with one of the largest surviving medieval old towns in Northern Europe, bursting with Baroque architecture. One of Europe's most fascinating cities, with unmissable attractions like the recently restored Sapieha Palace, and Soviet-era buildings dotted all over the city, making for an eerie reminder of the region's dark, recent past. These three cities offer such incredible value, rich history, unique culture, and genuinely welcoming vibes. They're less trodden paths that deliver an equally, if not more authentic and memorable European adventure. Next up, let's talk about Amsterdam. It's one of Europe's most iconic and visited cities, and for good reason. Who doesn't love its charming canals, incredible museums, and vibrant atmosphere? But let's be honest, it's also absolutely rammed with tourists these days. If you're after that Dutch charm and culture but with far fewer crowds, then you simply must consider The Hague. The Hague is a vibrant city with a rich history and a thriving cultural scene, and where you'll find the official royal palaces of the Dutch royal family. Even though Amsterdam is the nation's capital, The Hague is also the seat of government, as well as home to numerous international organizations, including the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. You can visit the Binnenhof, the seat of the Dutch Parliament, and admire the iconic Gothic buildings, or explore the North Palace, the working residence of the Dutch royal family, and take a guided tour of the Palhuis ten Bosch, a stunning royal palace located in the city's Zuiderpark. Surfers and bathers can also enjoy The Hague's beautiful coastline. Head to Scheveningen, the city's popular beach resort, which was originally a fishing village, and today it's one of the most fascinating maritime panoramas in the Netherlands, complete with a famous pier and Ferris wheel offering spectacular views of the North Sea. So if you're loving the idea of experiencing the Netherlands without the mega crowds, there's another absolutely fantastic alternative to Amsterdam that you'll adore. Located just south of Amsterdam, Utrecht is a charming city that offers a delightful blend of history, culture, and natural beauty. Known for its well-preserved medieval centre, Utrecht is a feast for the eyes. Explore the city's narrow streets, admire the Gothic Dom Tower, and stroll along the canals. One of the highlights of Utrecht is the Dom Square, a spacious plaza surrounded by historic buildings. Don't miss the opportunity to visit the Dom Church, a magnificent Gothic cathedral with a towering spire. For a unique experience, climb to the top of the tower for breathtaking panoramic views of the city. Just a short train ride from Utrecht lies De Haar Castle, a stunning 14th century castle surrounded by picturesque gardens. This fairy tale-like castle is one of the largest in the Netherlands and boasts lavish interiors adorned with antique furniture and art. Explore the castle's grand halls, visit the museum, or simply wander through the beautiful gardens. Now, if you've ever dreamt of visiting Dubrovnik, the stunning pearl of the Adriatic, you'll know it's often more like a sardine can in summer. It's one of Europe's most overcrowded cities, especially with all the cruise ships and Game of Thrones fans, causing real issues for locals and just making it hard to move. So, my advice? Skip those chaotic crowds and simply keep heading south down the Adriatic coast to check out Montenegro instead. Its spectacular coastline is finally getting the attention it deserves. And even if the streets of Kotor and Budva are less of a secret these days, you can still find plenty of less crowded places. Head to the southern tip to Olsztyn, a beautiful historic town with a dramatic hilltop location overlooking the Adriatic Sea and winding cobblestone streets that have escaped mass tourism. For adventure seekers, Durmitor National Park in the unspoilt north offers nearly 400 square kilometers of canyons, glacial lakes, and waterfalls. This tiny country packs a big punch when it comes to natural beauty, and nowhere more than the Bay of Kotor. Often called Europe's most southerly fjord, it's surrounded by rugged mountains plunging into crystal-clear waters. Charming towns like Perast and the medieval town of Kotor, with its Venetian architecture and imposing medieval walls, add to the allure. Now, if you love this region of southern Europe, but are looking for somewhere even further off the beaten path, then this next destination could be the perfect option. Once totally isolated from the world, Albania is a secret waiting to be discovered. It definitely has more of an off-the-beaten-trail feel about it. But if you love what Croatia or Greece have to offer, but want to avoid the crowds and high prices, Albania is a perfect alternative. I loved its quirky capital Tirana, where you can explore Cold War-era nuclear bunkers, and the well-preserved Ottoman towns like Gjirokastër and Berat. It may still be lacking in development, but you'll love Albania's unspoiled coastline, where you can enjoy crystal-clear waters and pristine white sands without the throngs of tourists, and the spectacular Albanian Alps, or the Accursed Mountains as they're called, which are amazing for hiking. The Theth Waterfall, Valbona Valley National Park, the Blue Eye, and the Kamani Lake with its Caribbean-like turquoise water are all amazing. 2025 is the perfect time to explore this beautiful country before it becomes the next big travel hotspot. Nestled between Greece and Romania, this next former Soviet state is another hidden gem of Europe that's still off the radar for most tourists. Bulgaria is one of Europe's best travel bargains right now, bursting with rich culture and history. Despite its potential to become a major tourist hotspot, it remains delightfully under-touristed even in high season. So if you're tired of the summer crowds in Western Europe, Bulgaria offers a refreshing escape. The Black Sea beaches are beautiful and way less crowded alternatives to the Mediterranean. Its capital city, Sofia, blends old and new with ancient churches, Ottoman mosques, and Soviet-era architecture. But a real hidden gem is the ancient city of Plovdiv, with a history spanning over 6,000 years. Stroll through its well-preserved Roman ruins, visit the colourful old town, and enjoy the lively food and art scene. The impeccably preserved ancient Roman theatre of Philippopolis stands proudly above the city. The views are spectacular. And there's so much more. The Rila Monastery, nestled in the Rila Mountains, known for its stunning frescoes and serene surroundings. The mysterious rock formations of Belogradchik, perfect for hiking and photography. And the cascading Krishuna waterfalls. But this is only just the start. If you want to know about even more amazing places to visit in Europe, maybe when the crowds have thinned down a bit in the autumn or spring, then you're going to want to check out this video here next. With that said, thanks for watching. Leave me a comment about your European hidden gem in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.